In today's episode, we'll be exploring the world of special effects makeup. One of my really good friends, Natasha, and her son Bodhi told me that they really enjoy watching my makeup videos on TikTok. So I gave him the opportunity to select my next character creation, and he selected Slender Man. Yeah, really cool idea. And most kids won't typically lean into that scary villain type of character. So when she told me his idea, I was actually really impressed. So yeah, I'm really excited to create this, and why not introduce some special effects techniques. The original design of Slenderman, he has no face, but I think we're going to do a yassified version. We'll take some elements from the original design. Of course, we'll put on a bald cap, probably shut my mouth for once. I think we're going to keep the eyes. Yeah, that seems a little bit challenging and like advanced level special effects, so we're going to keep the eyes just so we could yassify and get that little cunty emotion from Miss Slenderman herself. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. We're going to start off with prepping the skin, going down the eyebrows, and we have to slick back the hair for the bald cap. So we'll be right back once all that prep is done. Okay, so the skin is prepped, we have our eyebrows glued down, and we have the hair slicked back. The next step is to apply our bald cap. So I didn't want to invest in a real bald cap because I didn't want to spend all that money, especially considering it's my first time. So today we'll be using the Saran Wrap trick, also going to be my first time. So I'll be doing this on camera, but I won't be speaking through it because I'm a little nervous about this. So yeah, we're going to use some spirit gum for the adhesive around the hairline, and then we're just going to pull back and cover this hair. So yeah, let's do that now.
Now for the spirit gum, I had some leftover from last Halloween, so I'll be applying that around my hairline and along the sideburns. For the plastic wrap, I pulled a little bit over arm's length, and I'm just pulling before I apply it to my forehead, and making sure it's making contact with that adhesive, wrapping it around, also covering my ears, which will cut some slits so that we can wiggle the ear out, and using some packaging tape to keep it tight.
Okay, so we're back, and I think that is as good as it's gonna get. So the next step is to go over the plastic seam with some liquid latex, and we're gonna go ahead and apply the first layer of liquid latex on my skin.
Now I decided to go with Mehron liquid latex, and using a triangle sponge, I'm using a light layer and just focusing first on one side and just making sure that it has a full sheer coverage, just to make sure that there is no inconsistency in product so that it could create that mask and that continuity of the product.
Okay, so we did the first light layer of liquid latex. We have some trouble areas, which I think I could still fix. But now we are going to cover the mouth. Now that we have the first layer, we're going to use the liquid latex as a adhesive. And then we'll use some tissue paper, but we'll separate it so that we have a very thin layer to cover the mouth. And I also think we're going to use some packaging tape so that it's more of a flat surface. So we'll do that first. We'll then use the tissue paper, and then we'll go over it again with some more liquid latex.
Now using some pre-cut tape, I am covering them in vertical direction first, and then I'll go over in horizontal just to make sure that it has a flatter surface. And then we're ripping apart a sheet of tissue paper so that we get one ply, and I also cut it down to size and laid that over and started focusing on the edges so that we get a perfect blend. And then we go over the tissue paper to make sure that that's covered in the liquid latex. Then I'm going over with that triangle sponge over the eyebrow and using tissue paper here as well, just so we get a more prominent brow bone. Now I am following the same technique here with hitting the edges first and then on top of the tissue paper afterwards. And now we set the liquid latex with a translucent setting powder. I'm using Ben Nye, and this helps remove that shine from the product and gets it ready for paint. And with the clean brush, I'm just dusting off the excess powder. And for the base, I'm using a Mehron cream stick in white, using a brush to help apply it. Trying not to disrupt the latex because I don't want to mess that up. And towards the end, you'll see that I use a beauty blender just so I can get a better blend, especially on the plastic wrap on top of my head. But from here, it's just a regular application of the cream white. And once the white is done, I go in with a light gray to help set the contour area, which we'll go over in a little bit with some powders. And for a few minutes here, I use my eyeshadows and a range of blending brushes just so I could help add a little bit more detail and some depth to the brow bone structure, and also to help hollow the cheeks and contour. And then we're going in with a dramatic winged eye. And if you're familiar with my videos on TikTok, then you'll notice that there's nothing too special going on here other than my normal stamp. And since there's nothing too special going on here, I'll let you enjoy the music until we wrap up the look. This is Making Faces Behind the Paint, where we explore makeup techniques and products and make faces so that you can make faces too. If you like this video, stay tuned for our next episode. Like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you so much for watching.